590 WEZE Boston.
Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
Hey.
Everybody get exposed. Pray for all my foes, but it's the narrow road. These rappers gonna sell their soul. I don't care if they hate me. This the life I chose.
Thank you, everybody. Glad to see you here, 9 a.m. March 1st, 2025. We are here. I'm here with Kevin Christen, back in the studio.
Back in action. Good
holding
morning.
Things down. And it's a bright, beautiful day. No, it's not. It's overcast and cloudy and gray.
You're in the 1st of March, too.
Yeah, well, spring is around the corner, I think is what they say.
Yes.
So
they say.
Something like that. It was 40. It's 40 here. What are we talking about?
It was a nice week in terms of the temperature.
Yeah. So we did all right. I mean,
no complaints.
It's not like it's Naples, Florida, or Miami.
It's where we should be.
Why don't we both go down there together and we can just do the show from there?
Right.
Okay.
Let me know.
That's a good idea. We'll try that in April. I have some time coming up in April, so we'll do it then. Welcome, everybody. Amazing Great Sports Network here on WEZE 590 AM, The Word. Listen, we are glad to be here, and we're going to start it off with prayer, just so I don't forget. It's from the Tony Evans Prayer, Victory for Warfare. You know the book that I always bring out, so you know the book. And I actually wrote it down, and then I didn't bring the book, but I wrote it down, so we have this already. Prayers for victory, and this one is being grateful. So using gratitude. And it starts off, just like any effective military commander, Satan has a battle plan. And one of his tactics is to tempt you to gripe, grouse, and grumble, to do what Eve did in the garden, which is to dismiss the value of what you have, to fixate on what you don't have. Complaining induces one into the deadly sins of envy, resentment, and judgment. And those bring in the other deadly sins. So stop complaining and start giving thanks for what you do have, and more will be given to you. God wants to bless you with more than you can imagine. But first, you have to stop finding fault with everyone but yourself. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, sir, Bob. Just got to step forth and, stop complaining and realize all the good stuff you have, like the car that brought me here. So I didn't have to bike here. Yeah. So that's pretty darn good. And the weather was good. There was no snow and it hasn't rained. So we're good. We're good.
No complaints.
I think we got a Today in History opening here somewhere. Is it in there? Where is that thingy there? Somewhere in there. Yeah, there we go. You know what? I'll just stay off the screen. You got it. What am I doing messing things up? Today in History.
Well, you're going to definitely get that louder, Clay.
I'm going to try. We'll get that. We'll get it all straightened out. We got the commercial straightened out, so now we're going to get that one straightened out. Yes. Today in history, ladies and gentlemen, March 1st seems to be a day of retirements. And on March 1st, 1949, former world heavyweight boxing champion Joe Louis retired with a 66-3 record, including 52 KOs. He defended the title of record 25 times. And the question is, and this is a layup. This is just like I'm tossing the ball to you. It's even a softball. Who did Joe Louis win the heavyweight title from? Who did he win the heavyweight title from? Bingo, bango, bongo. If you can't hit that, well, I'll toss it again. 1969, New York Mets Yankee legend Mickey Mantle announces his retirement due to persistent knee injuries. And he finished his 18th season career with 536 home runs and a 296 batting average. Now, this is a hard question. This is a very hard question. But if anybody knows it, it's going to be the Amazing Great Sports Network listeners. Where Where was Mickey Mantle born? Where was he born? Okay. And if you get that answer right, you get one of our great goodies that we had back there. And in 1997, March 1st, 1997, Puerto Rican boxer Hector Camacho knocked out Sugar Ray Leonard in the 5th round in the Trump Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Now, he sent Leonard, a 6-time world champion, into permanent retirement. Another retirement. All 3 questions today have to do with retirement. So the question of this one is, who did Leonard fight in the John B. Hines Auditorium in Boston on July 18th, 1978? Who did he fight? That's the question that has to do with Ray Leonard and him retiring on March 1st, 1997. Okay, who did he fight at the John B. Hines Auditorium back in 1978? Well, let's give him a hint.
You want the clip? There we
Yes,
go.
play the clip.
Eklund has somewhat of a reputation for standing and trading. He's really a very ring-wise 21-year-old, and he's one of the oldest-looking 21-year-olds I've ever seen. There's no way Eklund can win this fight. He's trying, though, with everything he's got. Now Leonard is down. Let's see if that's a knockdown. And Eklund just walked over.
Total disrespect. Did you see that, Kevin?
For an old-looking 21-year-old.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I stepped over him. Just walked right over him after he knocked him down.
I say respect your elders, right? That's what they
Well, I mean,
tell us.
the guy that, well, he was the elder. You know, he was
Right.
he was the elder, so he felt like he could disrespect the younger guy and just step over him, which he did, and just great, just worked out so well for him. Anyway, if you can't get that one right, I don't know what to do for you. That was a layup. Forget about tossing you a softball. That was a layup from a kids basketball hoop. Okay. I think we should have our commercial here, and then we'll come back and we'll take the calls and talk about the Bruins.
Oh, good. That's a great way to kick off our morning.
Yeah.
Say hello to our friends at Dillon's.
Hey, are you feeling a little achy or sore from the cold weather? Then take a visit to Dillon's Russian Steam Bath. At Dillon's Dry Sauna or Wet Steam Room, you can de-escalate, de-stress, and detox your body and mind. A hot place of massage or a variety of oil massages are available. You will enjoy the relaxed atmosphere that features a nutritious snack bar, large screen televisions, and comfortable lounge chairs to cool off in during your visit. They have 2 convenient locations, one in Chelsea and the other in Quincy. Find them online at Dillon's Russian Steam Bath or call 617-549-3484 for more information. To enjoy your best health, visit Dillon's Russian Steam Bath, where heat, steam, and water have a therapeutic effect. How you like that?
There we go.
How you like that? Unbelievable. I feel like I should be in the sauna right now. In the steam room, relaxing. Well, Kevin's Corner. We're going to have to make something up on Kevin's Corner, like some intro.
Like a car crash sound or a something.
Demolition
Nuclear alarm or some disaster sound. Yeah, the state of the Boston Bruins is not good and not strong. The Bruins have lost 5 games in a row, and that's going back to early February. Remember, they took a few weeks off for the Four Nations tournament.
Yes, they did.
Which, by the way, I know I was off last week, and it's good to be back here because when you take a show off, you know, this is for anybody. You feel like you've been gone for a year. It was only 1 week, so it is good to be back here. For whatever reason, it was a long week off not being on the air. But anyway, regardless of that point, the Bruins have lost 5 games in a row. And just on the point about Four Nations, the best thing the NHL ever has done, and if I'm the NBA looking at ways to market the league better, you know, scrap your stupid all-star tournament with Team LeBron and Team whatever and go to a Four Nations style play. The best decision the NHL could have ever done.
It was great. And I'm going to tell you something. I made a video over that over the weekend,
Mhm.
Wednesday, saying this was the time for the NHL. If they're marketing,
Mhm.
they could leapfrog the NBA.
Correct.
Because while they're doing crazy crap with the All-Star game with these guys who don't even want to play,
Mhm.
aren't doing anything, it's totally unproductive,
Right.
unwatchable. This is the time for the NHL just to leapfrog. If they market what they did
Sure.
with the Four Nation thing,
Mhm.
it's done.
And who's happier than Gary Bettman? ESPN. Because remember, ESPN took over a couple of years ago. They went back to the NHL and broadcasting NHL games. And for them to be involved in this certainly helped their ratings as well. I think it was really strong ratings.
It went crazy.
Particularly in both times the U.S. and Canada faced off. But it was just a tremendous thing the NHL did. So I give props to them. But anyway, you can tell how much I'm delaying talking about the Bruins. 5 games in a row the Bruins have lost. They've all been by 1 goal. It doesn't matter. You still have.
I mean, you're close. It's like horseshoes or
Well,
horse races.
Regardless, a loss, and a win's a win.
It's a show.
And right now, the Bruins, well, they're making, in my opinion, decisions easy on what to do at the trade deadline coming up on March the 7th. And, well, the decision that we've sort of talked about all year, what avenue the Bruins going to go down. They really haven't been in this position in a long time, Clay. It's always been clear the Bruins are going to add pieces at the trade deadline and make a run. This year is certainly a different scenario. They've been on the bubble for the wild card spot really all season. They've gone back and forth. Should they be buyers? Should they be sellers? Well, I think it's clear to me after the loss at home against the New York Islanders on Thursday night, which, by the way, the Bruins outshot the Islanders by about 20 shots. So
and still
lost. I think the choice is clear at this point. The Bruins have to sell. Now the question is, who do you sell and who do you trade away? For starters, I think Geekie is definitely gone. There's no doubt about it. He's had a surprising season for the Bruins. Tailed off as of late, but I think the Bruins are going to trade him. Now, Trent Frederick, to me, was another one they're going to trade. He's now hurt sort of week to week, so we're not sure what's going to happen with him. And, Clay, the name that I don't want to see the Bruins trade just because of the emotional impact and the way he has been able to become a Boston Bruin for so many years.
Brad Marchand.
And really...
I'll get it out for you.
Thank you. I was doing a nice lead up. That's okay. We can cut to the chase. It is the captain, Brad Marchand, who is a free agent at the end of the year. His name has been subject to several trade rumors. Now the question is Don Sweeney going to do it? And we'll have to wait and see in the next week here. Actually, less than a week to go for the trade deadline happening next Thursday, the March the 7th. So we'll see. It has to be a big haul. There's no doubt about it. And the question is, can Don Sweeney pull the trigger and trade away Brad Marchand, or do you keep him and negotiate a contract with him in the offseason?
Yeah, they're definitely going to pull the trigger. On. They have nothing to lose. They're in 6th place. 6th place in the Atlantic.
4 points out of a wild card, 5 losses in a row. They play tonight against Pittsburgh. Late this afternoon at 3:00 against Pittsburgh, who's not having a good year either. But we'll see. We'll see what will happen with the Bruins going forward. We've talked about the struggles of Jeremy Swayman all year. It's not been a good thing. But let's go to the phones. Let's take our first phone call. I think John is on the phone. John, is that you? Good morning.
Yes, Kevin. How are you? It's 33 days until a Red Sox home opener.
All right, we're switching to the Red Sox.
That's my first love, Kevin Clay. What am I going to do?
What are you going to do?
The thing that maybe the first time in years I've been content with this starting 9, but I'm not happy with Chapman. I think he's too old, and I think they really should have kept Pavetta as a number 2 starter now behind Crochet. If you kept Pavetta, I think that team can contend. But they just got to spend the money and get another frontline starter.
Yes, they do.
So you think Nick Pivetta over Walker Buehler was a number 2 starter in your mind, John?
Yeah, I'd say they're both equal. I mean, Pivetta could eat up innings. I mean, Walker Buehler could easily be the number 1 pitcher now between him and Crochet.
Right.
And don't forget about Brian Bello.
Right, Brian Bello.
Who seems like a stud and definitely can eat up innings. But to me, they just don't want to win it all. They don't want to make that big, headline announcements.
Wow.
Get a Max Free, get a Blake Snell.
Oh.
I'm not happy with Chapman. I'm not happy with Chapman at all.
Well, I
10
think
years ago, I think Chapman would have been good.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean,
15 years ago.
Our oldest Chapman's 36 years old, and I think what they're going to do with the closer role is sort of do a closer by committee. And I don't think Chapman is going to be your set closer. You'll certainly have some guys in the back. And remember, you got Liam Hendricks too. But again, John, you're right in the fact that some of these guys are at the twilight of their careers. This isn't a young from Josh Hader a couple of years ago or a lights out closer. We'll see what Chapman's able to do. Now you mentioned Brian Bello. He'll be there, of course. And don't forget about Lucas Giolito as well. That's coming off Tommy John surgery. Lucas Giolito, who the Red Sox signed last year, was hurt and didn't pitch at all last year. But he's hoping to be on track for opening day. You've got Cutter Crawford, who's probably not going to be ready for opening day with the knee injury. And then, of course, you've got Garrett Crochet, who settles in as your number one starter.
Garrett Whitlock. We're all forgetting about Garrett Whitlock.
I forgot about Garrett Whitlock.
I forgot him.
Is he going to pitch this year, John? Because it seems to me every time he's ready, he gets hurt.
Well, how about they got another guy? Who's another guy at the top of the list? Tanner Hook.
Everybody who just say, I'm sorry, Clyde.
Tanner, and he mentioned Tanner Hoke too.
Yeah, we got Tanner Hoke.
They do got some pitchers.
Yes,
they do. I want to see that lights out guy. I want to see the lights out guy.
So, you still think? I don't really know, John, if there are any pitchers still available. To be honest with you, on the free agent market, I think. Let me tell you this. You mentioned Max Fried. I think Max Fried got paid a lot of money to go pitch for the Yankees, and I don't know if it was worth all that money with his injury history and as a left-hander. Now Blake Snell is in a different category, but I think the Red Sox were smart in what they did. Listen, John, you know me. We've talked about this in the show before. I've been critical of Red Sox ownership. I've been critical of the front office going back to the Bloom days and now in the Breslow era. I'm willing to give Craig Breslow a vote of confidence this year because he has signaled his interest in moving this Red Sox team forward much more than Chaim Bloom ever did. The signing of Alex Bregman and the acquisition of Garrett Crochet, to me, signal a willingness to compete for years to come. So I'm willing to give Craig Breslow my vote of confidence. It doesn't happen often, but I'm willing to do that for now, and we'll see how this the season goes in just a couple of weeks here. But, John, I want to ask you a question, too, because you spend a lot of time around Fenway Park. The saga that is sort of unfolding here at the hot corner with third base. Devers, Bregman, Devers doesn't want to play third. He wants to play third. He doesn't want to DH. They haven't come out and said where Bregman's going to play, whether it's third base, whether it's second. I don't think he'll DH, but maybe that's a possibility. What do you think on that?
Hey, you forgot one guy, Marcelo Meyer, the number one draft pick from a few years ago.
But he's not going to be. He's not going to be in the opening day roster, though.
Well, not opening day, but I think he'll be there during I think they're going to do it with the kids. That's why I don't think they went out and got out that lights out closer, the lights out number 2 pitcher. I think they're going to do the youth movement. I think they're going to bring up Meyer eventually, maybe after, maybe middle of May, get him some more at bats. Bring up these kids. Look what they did with Rafaela. Perfect example.
Right.
Drafted him, gave him his time in Worcester, gave him his time in Portland, gave him his time in Greenville. And look, he's been an all-around solid citizen since they brought him up. I love the kid. I think the kid's got a little sneaky power in his bat.
Little?
I think he can play. I think
little. That guy hits pretty good.
Yeah, what did he hit home runs last year? Maybe 8 or 9 home runs. I'm not sure.
He's got some pop.
I'd say maybe 9 home runs. But you know what he's known for? What they want him to do is to steal bases. That's why they want him in the lineup. I think he'd be the perfect number 2 guy. If he can get his eye down good and he could steal a few walks, he could be your leadoff hitter.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see him this year. There's no doubt about it. I don't think he's going to be in the opening day roster, but I think we'll see a glimpse of him. The thing with the Red Sox, John, you know this, is that the Red Sox for years just unlike some other teams, don't like to rush their prospects through the farm system, and they develop them for a while.
You know what the perfect example of that, Clay and Kevin, was back in 2007. They had a phenom not a phenom. They had a highly touted closer by the name of Clay Meredith. Do you remember him?
I remember the name. He didn't amount to much.
But he came up and he was good. He hurt his shoulder, tweaked his shoulder a little bit, but went down to Pawtucket. He got shelled one game, blew a bad save, and he never got his confidence back. They sent him to Kansas City for future considerations, and he did the same thing in Kansas City. He sent him down in the minors, and he lost all his confidence, and he retired. I think at the age of 27.
Here's why I think they don't bring him up. They don't want to pay them. They want to hold him down there as long as they can to keep him under whatever. And there's some sort of baseball rule. That they keep him down there and they don't have to pay him as much if they bring him up early. That's why they don't bring him up. They should bring these guys up. I don't know what. Listen, to me, the Red Sox are the class of the East. I expect them to be at the top. I'm going out on a limb. I know that, but I expect them to be number one in the East this year over the Yankees, Blue Jays, and the Marlins.
They could be. They could be the class of the East. And I mean, who's to say how the Yankees are going to be? I think I can already tell you. The last place team in the AL East this year will be the Toronto.
Exactly right. And Toronto, too, going to be in last place and signal the end of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up there in Toronto, too.
That's right. They didn't sign for an extension.
So anyway, John, we'll
get back to the Red Sox.
We'll continue to watch this. It's fascinating, though, to see what's going to happen the rest of spring training.
Right. Hey, Clay, one more thing. Denny McClain is in town the first week of April. He's doing a baseball autograph signing at the Shriners in Wilmington.
Okay.
If any of your listeners have never been to the Shriners baseball card show in Wilmington, it is a must-see.
Must-see.
They have over 300 dealers of baseball cards, Pokemon. I know a lot of kids love that Pokemon, which I don't even know what it was. I thought it was a TV show. But
it was.
TV cartoon.
He's going to be signing autographs the first week of April.
Okay.
The great Denny McClain.
Oh boy, does he got a lot of stories to tell.
Well, hopefully we can get some stories out of him. We are going to contact and negotiate with him.
Yeah, he should be okay. He might want a few dollars and a few hamburgers, but he's deep down a good guy.
I think we can take care of that.
He's a character. He is definitely a character. You guys are the best.
John,
you guys are the best in Boston.
Appreciate it as always. Hang in there, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Go Red Sox.
Yep.
I will. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, John. All right.
I expect them to be at the top. I really do.
The Red Sox. We'll talk about the Red Sox toward the end of the show. I mean, the AL East is shaping up to be a very interesting division. You obviously have Baltimore, who was in their youth moon right now, and Baltimore's had some great regular season success the past couple of years. They have not been able to translate that success into the playoffs. Of course, you had the Yankees go to the World Series last year, and
they won't do it this year.
Some folks are saying the Yankees are going to fall off. I think
cliff.
I don't know about a cliff, but
hard.
We'll see. We'll definitely see what happens.
They're going down. They're going down hard this year because the Red Sox going to be in first place. I look at them at the Rays. They're being second, and the Yankees they're being third.
No, I don't think the Rays will be in fourth. I think they're about 500, just under. But you mentioned the Rays. You can never count out the Tampa Bay Rays because they assemble a group of players that you may not have heard of before, but Tampa's kept an eye on them in a low market team. They're always around the wild card conversation. The Tampa Bay Rays are. So we'll see. About 30 days to go until we get ready for opening day here. And again, I want to give my vote of confidence to Craig Breslow. We'll see how they respond, though, Clay, to this sort of saga that's unfolding with Devers and Bregman, and now Tristan Casas has inserted his own opinion in saying that it's Rafael Devers' position.
It will all work out.
And nobody cares about his opinion, so I certainly don't.
It will all work out. If they're winning, If they're not winning, then
it always works out when they win. Yeah.
If they're not winning, it might get ugly. But
well, speaking of not winning, I want to just finish up on the Bruins. I know we were talking about that before we spoke to John, but again, 5 in a row, the Bruins have lost. In a position, in my opinion, to sell, and the upcoming trade deadline here happening this week. They've got 4 more games to go until that trade deadline, unless they come out in these next 4 games and blow the tires off their opponents. I don't see the direction being changed for the Bruins. I think Don Sweeney probably in his mind is clear who he's going to be trading. Now, the one that I'm not sure he is completely sold on is Brad Marchand. I'm sure teams are going to be calling. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure teams have already called Don Sweeney about Brad Marchand. So it would certainly make it an emotional day in Boston if Brad Marchand is traded away from the Bruins. Hey, there's always a chance that they do trade him. He can re-sign in the offseason, but I'm not sure that would happen. But one thing, too, Clay, I just mentioned, too, on Jeremy Swayman, it's been a very rough year. In year 1, I might add, of his 8-year contract, it has been a rough year.
Yeah, but they did it all wrong
for
again.
Jeremy Swayman. I know I'm not talking about it because we've talked about it enough, and they know our opinions on this. We'll be here till next year talking about it. But in my opinion, Clay, Jeremy Swayman has started more games this year, obviously, but Jonas Korpisalo, who has not been amazing by any stretch of the imagination this year, but he's been an okay backup. He's got a better record and a better goals against average than Mr. Swayman does this year. If I'm Joe Sacco, let's start to give Jonas Korpisalo some more opportunities behind the net going forward. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
A couple of games.
Exactly right.
Or maybe win some. It doesn't matter.
So looking at the standings in the NHL right now, we mentioned the Bruins are 4 back of the wild card spot.
6th place.
It appears to me that the division, well, nothing's out of reach at this point with about a month and change to go in the regular season. It just seems to me that Toronto, Florida, and Tampa Bay have a strong hold over that the Atlantic Division. The Bruins, we talked about at the beginning of the month, were on the bubble of the 3rd spot in the Atlantic, and now they're 10 points behind Tampa Bay for that 3rd spot in the Atlantic Division, and 4 points behind the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the Detroit Red Wings, both sitting at 66 points. The Bruins at 62, tied now with the Ottawa Senators and the New York Rangers, with the Montreal Canadiens at 61 behind them. So, yes, there's a month to go in the regular season, but with the way things are right now, if I'm Don Sweeney, I pull the trigger, start to sell some pieces, and move forward for next year.
Well,
it's unfortunate.
You're not a sentimentalist, I can tell.
Well, I just speak the truth, Clay, and try to be a realist as best I can. And the way I watch the Bruins right now, as many of you do, I'm sure, try to throw the remote at the TV or perhaps even shut the TV off when you watch the Bruins games. The Bruins know how to take the lead. It's like the classic Seinfeld scene. You have the reservation, but you don't know what to do with the reservation. And what the Bruins' problem is, Clay, they know how to have the lead, take the lead. They just don't know what to do with the lead.
Yes, they do. They know how to give it back.
Well, I guess so, but
they give it right back.
You're messing up my mentality here.
Okay, I won't do that. Kevin.
But that's all I want to say in the Bruins. And by the way, too, Charlie McAvoy, he got hurt in the Four Nations. I don't expect him to be back this year. They've already basically said Hampus Lindholm is likely out for the year. Move on next year. It's time.
Well, at times like this, we have to play. We have to remind the audience of what could happen. No, back to Jim Mora.
Oh,
right? Yeah, there we go.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Well, Jim Mora's quote couldn't be attributed to any league, not just the NFL. That's for sure. And honestly, I don't think any people are talking. I'm certainly not talking about playoffs for the Bruins. But hey, let's say. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, listen, the Bruins go on a real hot streak, but given where things are, I don't anticipate that to happen. So,
yeah,
and for what, Clay? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to say you get in the playoffs as a second wild card. Okay, then you have to face Washington, who has been lights out all year. Face Florida or Toronto. What's the real goal there? Just to get in the playoffs and then get bounced in the first round?
Playoffs?
Retool, reset for the future.
Okay. But I'm getting some messages that we're having static over the air here. So I don't know. Is anybody else getting static out there? I mean, if you're getting static, then obviously you can't hear me.
Well, it doesn't sound staticky here. So
sounds good right here. But we'll move on. I think we have a little commercial to do here with Oyama Investments. I'm glad you're back because I really just stumbled over it last week.
Well, that's all right.
And I got complaints from the advertiser that they wanted you to do it and not me.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's they said.
They said,
that's
"Don't do that again."
Wow.
Said we're gonna have to tape Kevin next time he leaves if you're gonna screw it up that badly.
Okay. Well, Clay, if you're looking for a smart investment and you're searching for a place to call your home, well, we want to welcome you to Oyama Investments Unlimited, that's where your dreams do find a foundation at Oyama Investments. Well, they're more than just your real estate. They're your trusted partner in building a secure future. And whether you're investing in a property that will grow with you,
No matter where you go, you will find Celtics fans in Florida, Alaska, Australia. You'll find Celtics fans all over the place. And you have to be proud to be a Celtic because, well, it stems all the way back from Bill Russell and Tommy Heinsohn and all of the players that have played, Bob Cousy, Casey Jones. And because of that, we have a tradition. And Jason Tatum, even though he had 40 some odd points last night and lost, this is how he feels about being a Celtics fan.
What can means for a team like Lakers or for those kids to see a big star like Luka playing for the Lakers?
I don't know. I know a lot of kids watch the Celtics play. I'm not a little kid anymore, so I don't really watch it like that.
We're all big Celtics fans, especially when they win. But last night, they fell to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Is there something you want to say?
It's just kind of an odd quote, but
that he's proud to be a Celtics fan. He says, he doesn't follow the Lakers anymore. It's the Celtics fans. But they lost last night, and they lost in the Garden to the Cleveland Cavaliers. But they lost without Porzingis or Jrue Holiday being in the lineup. So
they were also up 22 points, too.
Well, in the first quarter. They jumped out on them, and the Cavaliers reeled them in at the end. They pulled out Donovan Mitchell. And they opened up the can. It was like Popeye opened up the can of spinach. They opened up a can of Donovan Mitchell, and they went to work on the Celtics. He could not be stopped. But I would not lose a lot of sleep over it, Celtics fans who travel well everywhere they go. Celtics fans are everywhere. Detroit, Houston, New York, maybe not so much New York, but everywhere else. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I wouldn't lose any sleep. Holiday and Porzingis were out. And so they were playing without two of their starters, and they almost pulled it out.
Well, Cleveland didn't lead in that game until just under 9 minutes in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. So the Celtics had control of most of that game.
Most of the game.
I know I was talking to you off air. I think it's clear to me, Clay, that with a month to go here in the regular season, it's clear to me that Cleveland, who, by the way, has already clinched a playoff spot, and the Celtics close behind.
Right.
I would say we would mark Cleveland down as the first seed.
Yeah, they're not catching up.
It's clear to me that Cleveland has no intention of seeding that first seed. And I think the Celtics are positioned to be the number 2 seed. That's fine. They're 7.5 behind Cleveland.
Yeah, not going to catch them.
And that's okay. But again, I don't see any other team behind the Celtics. Leapfrogging the Celtics. The next closest is the Knicks. They're about 3 behind.
I'm not even
the
worried
Celtics
about anybody
right
else
now.
in the East. If they go 1-2, which they're going to do, which means they're going to meet at the end.
Right.
Should Cleveland pull it out? I'm more concerned about just the Celtics
Sure.
being there at the end healthy.
Hey, you know what, Clay?
Healthy.
The team that just lost last night, by the team that has looked really good the past 10 games or so. You know who that is? The Detroit Pistons.
Detroit.
How about that? I mean, after this gives the Washington Wizards some hope, I think, for next year. I mean, look at how bad the Pistons were and retooling and getting a new coach and some of these second sophomore seasons for some of these younger guys in Detroit. It's amazing to see. I think that the rest of the East, though, is wide open. I mean, you have the Knicks, the Bucks, the Pacers, and the Pistons right now as the 3 through 6. And then you have, which, by the way, this play-in stuff, I think is ridiculous because you have the other 4 teams, Miami, Orlando, which Orlando's just fallen off the face of the earth, Atlanta, and the Bulls. The Bulls right now, Clay, as the 10th seed, would get into the play-in tournament, okay, right now at 24-36.
That's disgusting.
12 games under
disgusting.
500, and yet they still get in the play-in tournament.
Nothing surprises me about the NBA these days as far as how low they will go and how they have no standards. They take anything. A team that's below 500 should not make it into the playoffs.
I agree with you, but the West is not having that problem. The 10th seed in the West is the Kings at 2 games over 500 at 30-28. So at the season end today, every team in the Western Conference would have a winning record, but 4 teams in the Eastern Conference right now, at least in the play-in tournament, would not have a winning record. Even the 7th seed, the Miami Heat, at 28-30.
That is crazy. In a case like that, they should take more teams out of the West and drop some of the teams in the East that would make the playoffs, just to give them a wake-up call. They should not be rewarded for being under 500. There's no way.
I agree.
And they should find a way to get that done. It's not that hard, okay? I'm sure there's other teams in the West that would be at 500. Take them, and not the teams that are under 500 in the East for the playoffs. I don't know how you do it, but you're going to have to work.
Well, no, how you do it, in my opinion, is bring back the 1 through 8 with the 1 through 8 seeding.
That too.
I was never a fan of this play-in idea.
They did it to get the Lakers in.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Mickey Mouse NBA champions
Yes.
of 2020 in the COVID bubble.
They did it to get the Lakers in.
Yeah. Hey, how about the Philadelphia 76ers, Clay? Their losing streak now stands at 9 in a row. They've lost in Philly, right now sitting at 20-38, just about 20 games under 500. Trouble in paradise with Joel Embiid, who's actually going to sit out the remainder of the season due to a knee injury that was reported last night. So no Joel Embiid for the rest of the year. Does it matter for the Sixers?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Do you blame Nick Nurse at all, Clay, or what's going on in your mind with the Sixers?
Bad management. It goes all the way back to, well, you remember that guy Simmons? Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was drafted number 1, right?
Ben Simmons drafted number 1, and the Celtics took Jaylen Brown number 2, I believe.
I think it was 3, wasn't it? Simmons and then it was Lonzo Ball, right?
No, that's the Jason Tatum year.
Was it?
That's with Markelle Fultz and
Are you sure?
Lonzo Ball, yeah. Ben Simmons, I think he was the number 1 draft pick. Before him, they actually made a good pick with Joel Embiid, but Ben Simmons.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. It was Simmons and Brandon Ingram was the second pick.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram.
And then it was
LA.
Jaylen Brown.
Then it was Jaylen Brown. So, I mean, they've just made bad decisions for a long time, telling people that they need to trust the process. The process by who?
Yeah.
Not the process by competent people, but by ineptitude management. So you can't trust the process on that. They lost out. Ben Simmons is now with the Clippers or somebody. Who knows? And he's still getting paid a lot of money. But just to show you how corrupted the NBA is, or how much you can't trust him, they gave Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year.
Right.
They get a guy who couldn't shoot free throws. They gave a guy who couldn't shoot free throws Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Trying to boost them up and trying to boost Philadelphia. So, You can't trust the process. You really the NBA it's just waiting. It's just waiting for somebody for the NHL to leapfrog them.
And 2 really bad draft picks, Simmons in the year after, Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, Markelle Fultz.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to the phone. Let's go to the phone. Dr. Wayne's on the line. Wayne, good morning. Welcome on in.
Hey, Kevin, Clay, good morning. Welcome back, Kevin.
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
Good morning.
Hello, Wayne.
You're welcome.
Wayne, were you
I
getting
think the
static
league-
out there?
Yeah, I couldn't get it. Even on my work radio station, I can't get it on the radio, only on my telephone. I don't know why that is.
Okay. Well, we're working
'cause
on
I
that.
had
We have
it
an
on-
engineer working on that.
Oh, okay, cool. But I just want to say, I think the league better be careful what they wish for with Tatum and Brown, because Tatum is unstoppable. And these guys, they're not even in their prime yet. And they got another nice 10 years of winning championships around here. So don't poke the bear too much with these guys.
I sure hope so. There's nothing better that I would like to do than just wag my tongue at the NBA and their crapola that they've been serving the public.
And I hope Coach Mazzulla have that on a loop, all the things that people say about Tatum, and wake him up in the middle of the night to just get his fires going and just unleash the hounds on the league, because these guys they're angry right now and they're playing beautiful
I'm glad
ball.
they lost. I'm glad they lost to get even more angry, because as they can see the league, the league's media can't wait to dump on them and promote Donovan Mitchell or anybody else over Tatum and Brown.
SGA, everybody. De'Aaron Fox. I
Give me a
mean,
break.
and I'm glad that Mr. White found happiness again, and he's playing outside of himself again. And did you see that heave of the 3-pointer that he scored in that game against Detroit?
No.
With the clock running down, I forgot who threw him the pass, but he just caught the ball, heaved it right at the basket for an improbable 3-point play, man.
I did. That's right. It was right at the buzzer, and somebody threw him the ball, and he jumped off the ground so that it wouldn't be counted as he left the ground, so the buzzer wouldn't go off, and threw it up. I saw that play. That was a great play.
So that man is dialed in again, man. I just think I like all these talking heads keep raining down on these guys, because these guys are going to shut them up. Banner 19 is in the bag.
It's in the bag.
I'm going there.
I only wish Bill Russell was still around so he could see this team and see them win back-to-back championships, something that hasn't been done since he was on the team.
I do have one question. I don't know if you guys tuned into any baseball as yet, but it seemed like the Red Sox are rounding up and building a really nice team.
I said the same thing.
I agree with you, Wayne.
My question is this: should they get lucky and win the World Series again, does Alex Cora get a stamp into the Hall of Fame? Would he be able to get into the Hall of Fame?
Wow.
No.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
that's 2 championships.
Yeah, I don't know.
He won one with the Astros.
He was bench coach. Bench coach, and also
there.
that I put a nice fat asterisk next to that one.
Stop it.
You always tell me to stop. Like you always tell me to stop with that. Are you a fan of the Houston Astros and they're cheating? I'm just curious.
No.
Okay.
I'm just being provocative.
Okay. All right. I just didn't know. I just want to clear it up.
Being provocative.
I don't know about that, Wayne. I mean, he makes a good case. There's no doubt about it. He would have a good resume. I'm not sure. I've been plenty critical of Alex Cora.
He has.
And some of his managerial decisions in most recent years. Now, given the fact that, they always say, well, you can't, the talent on the field, the coach coaches the manager coaches the players that the GM and front office signs. So, that being said, I'm not sure. I think the jury is still out on that one. If I was voting in the Hall of Fame, I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame just yet.
What about you, Wayne? Would you put him in there?
I would put him in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would too.
I would put him in there.
I would put him in there.
I mean, I heard these interviews with all these players who respect his knowledge of the game and his honesty. And for a man, he doesn't shy away from the cheating scandal. When he's asked about it, he answers it up. He doesn't duck it. He doesn't avoid it.
I
So
appreciate that, and I get it. And listen, I agree.
Yeah.
He was the right
Mhm.
person to bring back. There was no doubt about it that the Red Sox should have brought back Alex Cora after that. And listen, everybody makes mistakes, and everybody deserves some more chances in life. And I think Alex
Right.
Cora has proven that. And I think actually, when he came back, the Red Sox they were a game away from going to the World Series, which was, and a lot of people didn't expect that team in 2021 to make it as far as they did.
They weren't supposed to even be close.
Now the last 3 years have been troubling, to say the least. But the 2018 season was a real just a tremendous season. So I don't know. I think it's still too early to tell.
But
in
that's
my mind.
only if he wins this year. He has to win. I mean, if he wins the
Yeah,
World
he-
Series
he-
this year, then he's in the conversation. That's the way I'm thinking about it. But if he doesn't
Anyway,
win,
welcome back.
He's not in the
Welcome back.
conversation.
Right.
Welcome back again, Kevin.
Thank you,
Talk
Wayne.
to you guys later.
All right.
Bye now.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah, it's only if he wins. If he doesn't win, then we're.
So I just looked at the stream. It didn't appear to be any static. So maybe it could be on the radio, but
Could be on the radio.
seemed to be all good in our mind. But
We're gonna have to talk to AM radio about their bandwidth here. Come on, let's get it together.
did you want to say hello to our friends at Karma?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yes, it's time for yoga time. Ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to feel better, stand straighter, and enjoy daily activities without pain? Then look no further than Karma Don Yoga. As one of the more accomplished yoga instructors in the New England area, Karma embraces many different styles of yoga, including vinyasa, slow flow, yin, and restorative, in order to tap into your pranic energy and create a balanced mix of healing, stretch, and strength. You can find her and her very affordable classes online at karmadonyoga.com. That's karma, like good karma, bad karma, dawn, like the morning dawn, yoga.com. Gotta love that music.
Oh, very, very festive.
You like that, huh? Can hear the elephants and all those little symbols and stuff going off in the background. Yoga people making yoga poses.
Yoga people making yoga poses. Okay. I've never done yoga day in my life. Should I do it? Do you do the yoga?
Yes, I do.
It's very relaxing.
It stretches you out. Yeah, you should definitely do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't regret it.
Well, we'll see. There's not enough time for me. But anyway, any more you want to say in the Red Sox, Clay?
I think the Red Sox are there. I mean, we forgot they had Tanner Hoke, the two new pitchers.
So yeah, I mean it's a good rotation. I mean you have Crochet, you have assuming Lucas Giolito will be able to stay healthy.
That's another guy.
You've got Walker Buehler, a signing which I really like. You've got Tanner Hoke.
Yeah.
Cutter Crawford is there. He's probably not going to be able to. He'll probably start the year on the
Ryan
injured
Bello.
list. You got Bello. Bello's got to have some control issues. He can't let up as many runs as he usually does.
You need some consistency. But hey, that's a heck of a staff, and you're just going to throw them out there and see who's going to stick.
Yeah.
And then you got hitting all over the place.
This would be a different tune though if the Red Sox, didn't trade for Crochet or didn't sign Bregman or another bat.
That's true. That's true. But now they have Bregman.
But this to me signals a difference from what the Craig Breslow of last year, and I appreciate it. I think all Red Sox fans appreciate it.
We talked about
and
it.
So
last year
I can't criticize him for what he's done.
Oh no.
No.
He made a heck of a move this year. Last year he sat pat.
Yeah.
And when we thought they had a chance, and it turned out Detroit took that opportunity and ran with it. It could have been the Red Sox, but now,
yeah, I mean the Red Sox had an opportunity to sneak into the wild card last year. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah,
but now they're planting their foot firmly, firmly in the sand. They're there. I don't see another team in the East beating them.
Well, I mean the other two. I mean the Yankees are going to be hanging around. Whether they digress a little bit this year, we see.
Let them hang. They can hang all they want.
Then you've got Baltimore too. So I personally think the American League is wide open. I mean, the Central is an interesting division. The West, I think Houston is definitely not as strong as they used to be. The team I want to look out for is the Texas Rangers. Had an off year last year after winning the World Series. They'll be back, I think, this year. Look out for the Tigers. I think the Tigers, will see if they're able to improve on what they did last year and see if the momentum
with Detroit
is
I mean,
there.
You got the Lions.
It's the comeback city. Look at the Pistons.
And the Pistons.
And the Red Wings are having a pretty good year, too, in the NHL.
What's going on in Detroit?
Yeah, it's the comeback city in sports. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Detroit.
Now, if their teams could make it to a championship, that would be.
Well, they could. They almost made it last year. I mean, but then again, both teams, baseball and football, they were so close. So close.
Or so, well, I mean, football, they should have. There was no excuses there. But
well, yeah. I mean, you ran into Jaden Daniels and you had Jared Goff.
Right.
That was the difference there. But I'm planting the flag. I am planting the flag, Kevin, that the Red Sox will win the East and contend for the pennant in the East.
And there we go.
And not win it. I'm throwing out casting all doubts. John, don't worry. That's not going to assuage you anyway. I know you're still going to think they can't do it, but I'm telling you, John, the Red Sox are the team to beat. Trevor Story, Tristan Casas, Rafael Devers,
Bregman,
Sedan out in the outfield. They've got bodies. They've got hitters. They've got pitchers. The Red Sox should run away with this. They probably should break the record for the amount of games won in the Major League Baseball.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. With this team, but I think they're going to contend. And the one thing, Clay, that we hope doesn't hit the Red Sox this year is the injury bug.
The injury bug, yeah.
So let's go to the phones quickly. We have about 3 minutes left. Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from here this morning? Welcome on in.
Hey, good morning. I'm calling from Brockton, but this is Mike from Philly.
Mike from Philly. Mike, we got about 3.5 minutes to go. What's on your mind?
You got to be Philadelphia.
Yeah, I was I was just thinking about my Sixers.
Oh, my gosh.
This would be interesting.
Joel Embiid and the process and Ben Simmons, it just didn't work. And sometimes you just have to accept your losses, move on, build around Maxey. And they got a lot of talent coming out of college and just try to trade off these assets, but keep Maxey.
Would you get rid of Paul George?
I'm never wanted. And that's the thing. You probably won't even get anything for Paul because that guy's just he's fragile.
Right.
He's just always lumped up, and he
broke his freaking
potential.
leg 10 or 15 years ago. I mean, it was twisted around backwards.
Mike, Nick Nurse, in your mind, the right coach for the Sixers, or would you look elsewhere?
No, I would give Nick the resources to rebuild the way he wants to rebuild it.
Right.
We've already tried the process.
Yeah.
And Nick got it done in Toronto, and I'm telling you, he's a solid coach.
He's a good coach.
A lot of these guys are solid coaches. You just have to trust them. And isn't that really, in essence, the tough part is relinquishing the power and following someone else's vision. When you're an owner, or you are a GM, and you have, your vision.
Right.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, but you guys are still reveling, I'm sure, on your Super Bowl win, and enjoy it as long as you can.
Because you're not going to get one in the NBA.
You're not getting an NBA title this year.
No,
that's for sure.
No.
I guess you look to a World Series next. Just quick 30 seconds. What do you think of the Phillies?
Oh, I think we'll be fine. We're definitely going to at least make the wild card. And now all we got to do is get in the play-in, and then it's anybody's show at that.
Yeah, I mean, I look at that division. It's a 3-team race between Philly, Atlanta, and the New York Mets. So we'll see what happens. But
we'll get in.
Yeah, you'll get in.
All right, Mike, join us next week. We'll talk a little bit more. We'll see if the Sixers the Sixers streak continues. 9 in a row they've lost, and not a good time to be a Philadelphia 76ers fan, I guess.
I'm loving it. It's crazy. They win the Super Bowl, and then they're laying the egg on basketball.
I'm definitely calling next week to talk about your Celtics. I do like them, but I'm the antithesis.
Yeah, obviously you're Philly, but we would love for you to call on the Celtics.
We'll talk longer about that. Hey, Mike, thanks very much.
All right, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I like hearing other towns' perspectives on the Celtics.
It's very interesting.
We got about 30 seconds.
We got about 45 seconds, so I'll give you the final word. And let's talk next week, too. We want to make sure we talk about a little bit NFL free agency as well. Some news has come out, and The Giants may be interested in signing Aaron Rodgers, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting. Yeah. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, keep it together. Prayer, say your prayers morning, noon, and night. Pray for your friends, pray for your neighbors, pray for your enemies, and pray the best for them, because we all are having the same problems in life. None of us are exempt. None of us are perfect. None of us is actually that much, well, none of us are better than the other person. So let's pray for everybody that we can and pray for good things.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
I don't care if they hate me. This the life I chose.
Building healthy.
Listen on both the stream and online. It seemed fine.